Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geek Report, your look at everything from movies and games to TV and anime.
Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing good. Hope you all are doing happy, doing blessed, doing safe, and doing well. Welcome to your Geek Report for the week of March 10th through March 17th of 2025. This week's Geek Report is very, very thin. It's all TV and movie news, so let's get started. So first off, we got a new trailer for Lilo and Stitch, the live-action movie. Okay, that dropped this past week. We're going to take a look at it, and I'm just going to give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. And then also this past week, we got confirmation that John Wick 5 is happening. Okay, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. We didn't get a trailer. We haven't got any news on who's playing in it or anything. But I did talk about that for a little bit. And I'm going to just give you my overall impressions of it and my overall opinions on it. So sit back, relax, grab yourself something to eat, grab yourself something to drink, and let's look at the Geek Report for the week of March 10th through March 17th of 2025.
Our first segment tonight is our movie and TV news segment.
So everyone, let's get started with our TV and movie news. And our TV and movie news is kind of like our Geek Report this week. It is very short. But we do have a few news items to talk about. Now, a long time ago, Disney actually made decent programming, okay? We know this. One of the more recent pieces of programming that was fairly decent that they made was the movie Lilo and Stitch. Well, now it's getting a live-action remake. We've known this for a while now, but they finally dropped a trailer for it, okay? So, we're going to take a look at the trailer, and I'm going to give you just my thoughts and opinions on it. But this here is the live-action trailer for the upcoming movie, Lilo and Stitch.
We have apprehended a dangerous...
Now, already, the way they're doing Stitch is it seems like they're following the original lore, okay? Because in the original movie, and if you want to count the series as well, you know, he was this criminal, this experiment that went kind of berserk, and he was a criminal, and they've already got the way he looks down pretty decent and all that, you know? So at least they're following the original lore. They're not trying to deviate from it.
Experiment. Where is he?
He escaped.
He is trying to find the police cruisers.
He took the red one.
What hideous planet is caught in your crosshairs?
Shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
Now, I don't know about the other characters so far, okay? Let me hear them. But, like, I'm kind of curious about these other characters. Because I remember Lilo, and I remember Stitch, and I remember her aunt. Or was it her sister? It was like a adult female family member. Okay. So, like, I'm kind of trying to remember a lot of these other characters as well.
Hell.
Now, so far, I'm liking the girl who they got to play Lilo. All right. You know, she's got a really good acting, okay? And she seems to fit the role, okay? They didn't try to whitewash her or make her this or that or anything else. They just went by the blueprint of the original movie and the show. And I'm liking that so far, okay? Exactly. That's what we wanted, you know?
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
And this here is supposed to be her, I think it's her sister, her older sister, okay? You know, she's following the playbook, you know? The protective older sister trying to look out for her younger sister, okay?
We promise.
Yeah.
Down from there.
Look like an angel.
No. Control him. Hey, what are you doing? No. Dogs on the table.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
Ruff. Ew! We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family.
And I like the fact that they're using that Ohana line, okay? Because that was a big thing in the original movie and the series about Ohana means family. And I'm glad that they're keeping that as well.
Family means nobody gets left behind.
Or forgotten.
Stitch bad.
Sometimes family isn't perfect. That doesn't mean they aren't good. That was close. I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
Agent Cobra Bubbles, we have a blue dog to catch.
No, wait!
No. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch. 1.
Alright, and I'm liking it so far. I thought they've done a real good job with this trailer, okay? They brought back a lot of the original feels you have with the original series, okay? But I have to say, this is Disney we're talking about here, okay? How many times have they pulled bait and switches with us? Now, I will say this. I recently started watching the Daredevil Born Again series. And so far, after 3 episodes, they haven't really done that. Okay? At least I haven't seen it. Alright? But still, I mean, we've been burned so many times. Just look at Star Wars. Okay? So, I'm still kind of waiting for them to pull a bait and switch. Because it seems here lately, Disney has tried to rewrite history. They've tried to rewrite their own history. And, change these characters and that characters. And I really don't want them to do it with this movie either. Okay? Because I'm sick and tired of them going out and changing these characters to be this thing or be that thing. And I'm just tired of it. You know what I'm saying? But it is coming out Memorial Day. It's coming out May 23rd. From what I saw from the trailer, it looks to be a good movie. Okay? It looks to be a good movie. It looks to be following the lore of Lilo and Stitch. Stitch being the prisoner. He was an experiment that went kind of bonsai crazy. He escapes to Earth and he finds a family. And he grows to love this family more than he does maybe the chaos that he creates. Okay? That was the whole point of the original Lilo and Stitch movie. Was Stitch growing to love more family than the chaos he creates. Okay? But, yeah, that was Lilo and Stitch. It's coming out May 23rd. It's going to come out Memorial Day. Is that a good idea? I really don't know. Because, Memorial Day is really that big movie frame that a lot of movies are going to be coming out on. And on top of that, Ballerina's coming out in June. Okay? So it'll have maybe 2 weeks before Ballerina kind of steals its thunder. Alright, so I'm just kind of wondering about if that's really a good idea, or maybe if they shouldn't push it back a little bit until... I would push it back until August. That would give Ballerina an entire month to kind of rock and roll a little bit before people want to see something else. But that was Lilo and Stitch. It's coming out May 23rd. It's coming out in theaters. From what I saw of the trailer, it was a good trailer. They did a good job on it. They brought back a lot of the feels. I'm liking what I'm seeing in the movie so far. They've got the little girl playing Lilo. They've got the big woman playing her, I think it was her adult sister. Okay? They've got the setting right, which is Hawaii, and they're not trying to change anything so far, okay? But this is Disney here, okay? Somehow, some way, someone makes a call and something gets changed, and that's what I'm worried about. But Lilo and Stitch, live action movie adaptation, coming out May 23rd. Am I excited to see this one? I want to say yes, but it's been so long. I'm really not. It's just not my kind of movie. But I do remember watching Lilo and Stitch a long, long time ago, and it was a good overall movie, and the show they did afterwards was pretty good too. So who knows? Maybe this will be a good kids adventure for kids to finally watch from Disney, instead of some woke nonsense they try to push down our throats.
Continuing on with this week's TV and movie news segment.
So, one of the more recent movie franchises that has really picked up steam has been the John Wick franchise. Now, at the end of John Wick, we assumed that the John Wick movies focusing on Keanu Reeves' character John Wick are over, based on what we saw from the ending. But that may not necessarily be true. Recently, Lionsgate has confirmed that John Wick 5 is in production. But there's a big question about whether or not Keanu Reeves will come back. Because at the end of John Wick 4, the ending kind of left that ambiguous. Is John Wick alive? Is he dead? Like, what's his status? Alright. So let's look at this. This is coming from several sources. This one right here is coming from Fandom Wire. And it says here that John Wick 5 is confirmed. And if you scroll down here, okay, and it talks about, about a fifth movie in the franchise. Down here, it says, from a statement, it says, we've shared that we're developing a fifth John Wick film. John Wick may be dead. We are all on bated breath waiting to find out. While Lionsgate EVP Brown has left the audience in a dilemma after Keanu Reeves has earlier talked about not having any plans to return to the franchise after the alleged death of his character. So, what could this mean for John Wick 5? What could this mean for John Wick movies going forward? So, what does this mean for John Wick? Alright, Keanu Reeves has said he has no plans to return. Now, he didn't say he wasn't going to return. He just said, I don't have any plans to return. Okay? That's what Keanu Reeves has said. I have no plans to return. Okay? That don't mean he ain't going to return. I think that Keanu Reeves needs to return to John Wick. Okay? If there's going to be a John Wick 5, okay? Now, I'm not talking about Ballerina, okay? If there's going to be another John Wick movie, okay? It needs, in some way, shape, or form, needs to have Keanu Reeves in it. Okay? Keanu Reeves' character, his focus on the movie, everything about him is what really drew in fans to John Wick. Okay? The whole series of movies really rested on Keanu's acting chops, his ability to draw in characters, and just his love of the fans. Okay? And if it ain't gonna have him in it, then I really don't think that it will do well. Okay? Now, if it says from the world of John Wick, like Ballerina, okay? Ballerina doesn't claim to have John Wick in it. Now, we do know he is going to be in it, but it says from the world of John Wick, okay? That movie right there really don't have to have John Wick in it to succeed, but it's good to him that he's going to be in it, okay? But I think that he definitely needs to be in some way, shape, or form. Now, if they want to start transitioning to a new character, okay, then what I would do for a fifth film in the John Wick franchise is have it to where he faked his death, okay? Maybe he survived the trip back to New York after the duel, whatever. He faked his death, okay? He's dead, he's done, all that. And Winston kind of asks him to train someone new. And that someone new goes on revenge for the High Table or whatnot. Okay? And maybe even include Ballerina in that. Alright? I'm still kind of hoping that they're going to take Ballerina and have her be trained by John Wick. So that by the end of the Ballerina movie, John Wick is kind of training her. But yeah, like, if they want to transition to a new leading character in the John Wick franchise, all right, then they need to have it where at least John Wick trains him, okay, where John Wick faked his death and trained him, okay? Don't have him have him throughout the entire movie. Have it to where John Wick trains this new upstart or whatnot, and basically gives him his name. Basically says, okay, you're now John Wick, okay? Basically gives him his name, all right? But I think Keanu Reeves needs to be in it, okay? You know, it was his focus and his passion and just everything he did in the movies that really brought the audiences in, okay? The whole entire franchise went on his back, all right? And I think that without Keanu in a John Wick movie, it's going to be an uphill climb for it to be as successful as the previous 4 movies. Now, that don't mean it can't be successful. I just think that without Keanu, it's going to have a real uphill climb because for one thing, you're going to confuse people. All right. If you sit there and say, okay, John Wick survived his trip back to New York and Winston helped him fake his death, okay? Winston basically helped him, go underground and fake his death, and now Winston's asking for a favor to train this new upstart, okay? If you do that, okay, then it ain't going to confuse people. They're like, okay, he got his revenge on, the Vantino family. He got out from underneath the clutches of the high table, and now Winston's asking him to train a new upstart, and that upstart goes on his own path of revenge. Okay? That is simple. Okay? That's a simple way of doing a movie. Okay? But if you sit there and say, oh, well, we're going to have a new John Wick. Well, that kind of confuses people who maybe aren't that too hardcore into the story of the movie. That too hardcore into the lore of the high table and the lore of the Continentals and all that. Okay? There's got to be some explanation like, who is this person? Why is he named John Wick? Etc., etc. Okay? So, I just want to say that if they do a John Wick 5, okay, it has to have Keanu Reeves in it in some major capacity. But if they do another movie that says, from the world of John Wick, etc., okay, from the world of John Wick, etc., then maybe it won't have to have Keanu Reeves. I think it all determines on where their focus is going to be and what they're going to name it, okay? If they sit there and name it John Wick 5, then it's got to have Keanu in it. It just has to, okay? And I think they even know that, okay? But I think that if they say from the world of John Wick, then it really don't have to have Keanu in it. Now, it would be good for him to be in it, but it wouldn't have to have Keanu in it, okay? So on one hand, I want them to do John Wick 5 because in my eyes that would mean that John Wick survived the end of number 4, okay? But on the other hand, I don't want them to do a John Wick 5 because I'm afraid they're going to try and change John Wick, okay? They're going to try to cut Keanu out of it entirely. And it's going to confuse people, and it's going to really end a good movie franchise. So I'm really torn on this. I really do hope they do another movie in the John Wick universe, okay? But they need to kind of like decide fully. Did John Wick die at the end of number 4, or did he survive? Okay? And I think if he survived, they can do another John Wick 5, okay? But if he died, then they gotta do a from the world of John Wick movie. Okay? I think it really depends on whether or not he wants to do it. Because maybe he's gotten tired of doing the John Wick films, He put a lot of his blood, sweat, and tears into these films, and they came out great. It really does show that when an actor loves a property, when an actor puts his soul in these movies, okay, his blood, sweat, and tears, they can create something very unique and interesting and great that the fans will love, okay? But if an actor does not love the movies at all, or does not care, or really doesn't just give a crap, then they won't get anything at all out of it. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think it really is going to depend on whether or not Keanu Reeves wants to come back. And if he didn't want to come back, I wouldn't fault him for it. He gave us 4 good movies, okay? But if he doesn't want to come back, then everything after that would be on the studio, okay? Because if he doesn't come back, if they finally decide, okay, John Wick is dead, okay, then they should not do a John Wick 5. They should do From the World of John Wick, like they're doing with Ballerina, okay? If they're going to focus on a new character, even if his name is John Wick, say from the world of John Wick something else, okay? And to be truthfully honest, if Keanu Reeves does not want to come back, that should be their best option, okay? But if Keanu does want to come back for another go-around, perhaps he wants to pass on the legacy of John Wick to a new character, then I think that they should do a John Wick 5 where he is training this new upstart and somehow they get caught up in revenge and John Wick basically passes the mantle to a new generation. Okay? That I could see happening. It would all depend on the person they're passing it to and all that. Okay? So there is a path for them to do John Wick 5. It all really depends on whether Keanu wants to come back or doesn't want to come back. It's that simple. Well, everyone, that was your Geek Report for the week of March 10th through March 17th of 2025. To kind of review what we all talked about, we talked about the new Lilo and Stitch trailer. This is the first trailer for the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. I gave you some of my thoughts and opinions on it and basically told you what I thought about it. And then we talked about the fact that John Wick 5 has been confirmed to be in production. That Lionsgate has confirmed that John Wick 5 is in production. And I just gave you some of my overall thoughts and opinions on it. I know this week's Geek Report was real thin. But, yeah, I mean, it's thin. You know, there ain't a whole lot to talk about. And we're kind of entering this weird time of the year where there ain't a whole lot of news dropping. They're holding everything back for like the big award shows and the big, conventions and all that. We're entering this really weird time. But we did have a few news items to talk about, and I hope you learned something from them. So if you can, please go over to some of my YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey pages. Check them out when you can. Let me know what you think of them. Also, I got Twitter. It'll be at the end of this video as well. Check it out. Leave me a private message what you overall thought. I will see you guys in the next video and in the next stream. Laters.
Thank you for watching this week's Geek Report. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out my other video sites as well as my social media. And if you can please, leave a like and a comment on this video. We will see you guys in the next video and the next stream. Laters.